Hello and welcome to Startup Hack. Today we are going to talk about C# and .NET tips and tricks. So let's jump right in. Make sure to check out the link down below because we always provide the code samples that you can pull down and follow along so you can see in our project. Do you want to earn $100,000 a year? Do you want to become a software developer within just 3 months? With our amazing course and awesome tutors, you never have to worry about getting stuck. We help students to learn skills that companies want to hire. We are Startup Hack. Don't forget to subscribe our channel. So let's get started. Alright, the idea of the tips and tricks is not to go into them in full detail, but to give you a small description of the idea and an example. If you have a lot of questions about a specific tip, please let me know in the comments. If there are enough requests for it, I will dedicate the whole video to it. So in most examples, I will assume the following class enums and lists. So here's the example. Right, merge if statement. Sometimes if statements are nested, this is because you need to do several checks to reach a conclusion. So take a following code example. This is a pretty simple and small piece of code, but did you know you can merge these two if statements in one? So here's example. This way you can make multiple if statements pretty small. Keep an eye on the readability, though this is a small example, but I managed to merge 6 if statements in one, but the readability was not so great. Next tip is pattern matching. Imagine this following piece of code, a pretty traditional way of checking if an object of which we assume not to have any clue what the actual type is not null and it is of a certain type, product in this case. You can also use this, which is also traditional. Both are not wrong, but with pattern matching it will be a little bit easier. So the idea behind pattern matching is that you have a null check, something is not equal to null, test it for a specific type, product, casting and less code. If you apply that to the code here, you get this. So no null check, no extra casting and less code. Alright, the next tip is the null coalescing assignment operator. The first time I heard about this one, it scared me a little bit. Usually when something is long and only consists of big words, it's hard to understand and or implement, but this one isn't. I think a lot of people using C# are already doing this, but if you haven't done, be ashamed. Don't be ashamed. This one should check if a variable is null, and if so, it should assign a value. If it's not null, it should keep the original value. So here's the example would give an error. Just imagine the variable apple is a parameter and you are not sure about the value. This means we need to check if the apple is null, so we need to initialize it and assign a value to the title property. Easy. But we can make this way smaller with the null coalescing assignment operator. I just copy paste this, not going to type it all the time. Less code, and if you ask me, better to read, but as always keep an eye on the readability. Now this next tip is expression body constructors. Available since C#, the current version is 11. As most of us know, it's possible to initialize an object or a class with parameters, something like this. But you can set the values of the properties with an expression, making the code a little bit less, and you don't have to worry about constructing and deconstructing values. So here's example. Do you know that in the newer version, you can also use primary constructors on the class itself instead of defining the constructors? So here's example. Alright, so the last tip is debugger display attribute. So the debugger display attribute shows you more information on initialized object. If we want to see the contents of Apple like the stock, we need to expand the Apple dash watch. But there's an easier way to see the information a bit quicker. So debugger display attribute. This way you can see a lot of information about an object without the need to expand it. You can customize the text as much as you want. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned these tips and tricks. So if you have a lot of questions about specific tip, please let me know in the comment section. So don't forget to subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon for latest updates. To joining our course, you can simply go to our website called startuphack.com. Thank you.